because that's very shareable content, which I think, which is what this whole thing is based around.
I enjoy using tech to enjoy things, right? Instead of it being there to make your passive income and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, how do you make it better?
What's up, legends? Welcome to the Democast. I'm Jack, here with my co-host Alex. What's going on, man?
Just keeping it real, man.
As always. It's been...
I didn't even realize we were filming. Sweet. First of all, I got some messages this week, this week, but about the last one.
The previous episode.
A few to come out. Again, heaps good feedback on it, keeping that positive going. Definitely wanted to talk about the last 2 weeks. Arguably, I've been in a bit of a fucking low. As you know, you picked it up on it.
Yeah.
Partner picked up on it and was like, "What's going on for you?" And definitely wanted to like take a moment to say, like, I don't have my shit together. Sometimes it comes across like it betrays how we speak, because we're talking about things that work for us and how they work for us, and it's easy to like whilst you're in that moment to be like, "This fucking get in there, you're this, you're that," but sometimes you got to catch yourself and really like back to those foundations and bring in, there's 1%. But so yeah, I just wanted to like, thank you for the messages, appreciate it. But yeah, this is more for me, especially this is like the journey of where we're going and how we move in there. So
yeah, for sure. This is the journey of us getting our shit together, not with our shit already together. Which I can understand that, like, it's real easy to sound like you've got your shit together when you've got a microphone and somewhere to put it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is definitely like, yeah, we definitely still have down days, and I guess like we have had a few, and like obviously a lot of positive messages, but a few people kind of being like, oh, like I hope I can get it together, like, which I appreciate that you think we've got it together, but yeah, there's definitely us on the journey of, and I don't think you ever will fully have it together, but.
No, I guess to be fair, you should never have it together. Yeah. There should always be something you're chasing progress for. Yeah. Just some days you sound and come across more put together than you actually are.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's that, like as a, like that 80-20. Like it's real easy to put that 80%, 20% together on the surface. That 80, of that front. But yeah, sometimes you slip. Had to slip on the last 2 weeks or so, man. But yeah, for sure. And I like. Yeah, prior to that, I was fucking pretty out of it for a bit. But I guess it's easy to have a microphone and talk like you know what you're doing for an hour. But this is kind of stuff that's works for us and works at the moment. I'm sure it'll change. Absolutely, and it's definitely those messages coming through that help me as well. Be like, pull your fucking head in, like get your shit together. So if you feel like we are benefiting you in this, anyone reaching out to us, like, and how I feel is benefiting me in this as well. Sure. It definitely feels on my end like a mutual exchange, so loving that. But I have a question for you though on this getting your shit together.
Yeah.
If you could go back to whatever your point you want, or just like scratch it, keep your knowledge now, but if you had to start again, because we speak a lot on hobby businesses and stuff like that, so still keep your 9-to-5s, where would you go as a hobby business? What would you do differently? Would you scrap the whole thing? Would you go down a different route? Would you even take media as a thing? Like, how would you give us a run through? Okay,
first of all, I'm going to start off with some things that I would never do again in business.
Yep.
The first thing being, which for a little bit of context, my first business that I started was motocross graphics business, and we designed, printed, manufactured, ship, start to finish, finished product to the customer. If I was to ever start a business again, I would not manufacture anything myself.
Like you would outsource everything?
Yeah, anything that needs to be manufactured would be outsourced to someone who is doing the manufacturing. I would not manufacture anything myself again.
Could you run me through an example of just like a manufacturer that you would outsource?
Well, so like for Sleeper, for example, we're not sewing shirts together.
Fuck that.
We're not even doing the embroidery on the shirts. Like there's no way there's no way I would do either of those things, especially in like apparel. There's not a chance that you would do that. That's definitely something that you would all outsource all of. But yeah, I guess as an example, that's I wouldn't be sewing shirts together. I wouldn't buy my own, like if I was doing apparel, for example, like we are with Sleeper, but I wouldn't be buying my own embroiderer. I wouldn't be buying my own screen printing equipment. I'm doing it myself. Not a chance. That's not happening.
All right. Hell yeah.
Because basically, if I get to the point where, or like we get to the point with Sleeper where we've moved away from having like because we have a local shop that we're working with at the moment. If we outgrow that, we're going direct to someone to fully manufacture the shirt for us. I'm not going to then bring that in-house and be like, we're doing more volume now. It makes more sense to buy equipment and do it ourselves. That'll just go straight to like probably China, to be fair. Or like whatever supplier we find that would fully manufacture a shirt.
So is that because you want to eliminate a degree of complexity inside it?
For sure. Yeah. So I guess there's a few things. The first one being manufacturing stuff is hard, and that's not what I'm an expert in. The second thing being is that yes, your cost per unit is going to be lower if you're manufacturing it, but if you have fuck ups, you eat that. You have to eat it. Where if you, for example, if we're getting shirts embroidered by a shop and they fuck up, they put the wrong thread in, the fucking something happens, that's their responsibility to eat the fuck up. It's not our responsibility. So yeah, that's definitely the first thing that I would never do again is manufacturing on my own, for sure.
That's fine. So I guess it's the risk reward there would be you lose your ability to have lead time constraints because you're at the mercy of someone else, but you also don't have to deal with the QA of that side as well. Yeah. Plus like the overhead of equipment, maintenance, staff,
and
operations. Yeah.
And even I guess just keep rolling with like the t-shirt example. Mm-hmm. The size of operation you would need to be like custom sewing shirts, having embroiders, having screen printing, having weaving pip tags, like all of that stuff. They're arguably all going to be outsourced to different factories. Like there's no way you're going to do all of that in-house.
As we went through with Sleeper, we found out that it seems to be once you hit that sort of like 50 to 100, that's when it goes into the automated side. Anything under that is still an incredibly manual task too. Yeah. So I guess the size of throughput you would need to warrant those creature comfort machines would be monumental. Yeah. Sorry, keep going. Because we'll get caught up on these finer things.
So that's a big one for me, and I've said that over and over again. That I wouldn't be manufacturing anything myself. That'd all be, if I was doing a physical product, which I'm not going to say I wouldn't do, but I would be careful about doing physical products just because there's a lot of things that can go wrong with physical products, obviously. But yeah, that's a big one for me. Outside of that, I guess the only other thing that I would really try and avoid too much with running any sort of business, and particularly with a hobby business, obviously, because that's kind of what we're going to touch on. But I'd be real careful about having like too many overheads, which is kind of self-explanatory, but and kind of obvious, I guess. But yeah, that's definitely something that I would look at. Like, I guess the amount of effort put in per dollar, I guess, is very, very important to me now where I'm at in business at the moment. So, for example, with my previous business, when I was doing motocross graphics, I was the only graphic designer because we were a small crew. It was basically three of us. Katie, my now wife, helped with some of the social media stuff a little bit. And I had a kid that like came after school and just like helped sweep, take bins out, do just like random bits and pieces. But really it was only like the three of us. So every single dollar that business made, I had to be like hands-on with. It's like I had to design every single order that came through. I had a guy that was helping do all of the production stuff. But a lot of the time with that, he was kind of at the point where if everything went well, he could operate the machines, everything would run through smoothly. But as soon as there was a problem or something stopped, I would then have to step in and kind of resolve that. So I guess the effort per dollar of that business was very high for me. It was, like too much, basically, to the point where I sold the business and moved on. But yeah, that's a big one for me, is like effort per dollar.
That's an interesting metric, not one that I've one that I've ever looked at as something to scale things off is effort per dollar.
And it's a little bit hard to measure, I guess, because what's your unit of effort?
I mean,
it's a little bit hard to measure. Like you can't put a number on it and go like,
this is the dollar per effort.
Yeah.
Because effort changes as well per day. Definitely like a internal reflection type thing, but a good one nonetheless. All right, keep it going.
Cool. So I would definitely stick with majority like a media thing, I think. And this is an idea that I've kind of thrown around a little bit before, but kind of just wasn't really like. And this is potentially something that I might put together in the future, just as a little fun side thing. But I've kind of got enough going on at the moment that like I don't need more fun little side things.
You sure?
Yeah. But so essentially, what I would do. Are you familiar with Kook Slams on Instagram?
No, I'm not. I'm barely familiar with myself on Instagram.
Barely familiar with Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I would essentially like copy their business model, really.
Yeah.
So it's essentially they just post clips of people eating it.
I am partial to a good clip of people eating it.
Yeah. So there's a few reasons why I think this would be a cool little hobby business, and sounds what?
Just like revision in my head of people eating shit.
yeah, of our chats on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's
just people eating shit back
people
and forth.
Scorpioning.
Yeah, Jesus.
So there's a few little things that I think makes this interesting to me, and I can understand up front that might sound like a little bit obscure, and like, how do you monetize this? How does this work, basically? So essentially, how I would start it is I would start basically by obviously creating an Instagram account, getting your algorithm to the point, so like trying to find those clips, but you want to find the original poster of those clips. So obviously before you have any following, you're not going to have people send in submissions. So I would start by reaching out to people, being like, hey, this is my page, this is what I'm doing. Are you happy to give me permission to reshare this? Because you don't want to be the dude that's just like stealing content.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, that's shit.
Constantly.
Yeah. So
imagine sharing someone's content and not giving them credit for it.
Oh, like especially if you're not giving credit. But I feel like even if you are tagging them, like you should reach out and be like,
fucking oath.
and like just get a pre-written message going. Every time you're like flicking through reels, you can reply. You can like just message the person directly from the reel. So and yeah, just send them a message. Just have a pre-written message. Be like, hey, this is what I'm doing. Like, are you happy to give me permission to repost it? And just do that for like, I don't know, you could probably do that for a few weeks or a month or two, like, and just like gather a whole bunch of content essentially. And then start obviously distributing that. Obviously give the people credit, for God's sake. Even though you have their permission, please give people credit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I guess once that, because that's very shareable content, which is, I think, which is what this whole thing is based around, is the reason why that kind of that content gets traction is that it's it's very shareable. Like it's basically our entire chat on Instagram is just us sending each other like funny clips of people kicking themselves in the back of the head. And same, like, I have a few chats like that on Instagram where it's just crash videos backwards and forwards. So it's very shareable content, and Instagram loves that because Instagram wants your videos to be distributed out, because if Instagram can see that you've posted a video and then 10 people have sent that video to a friend, then that person has gotten a notification, they've opened their phone, and they're straight into Instagram. Instagram wants people on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which checks out.
Yeah. Because that's how Instagram operates.
Yeah.
They run ads. That's how they make money. If they don't have eyes on ads, they don't make money.
Correct.
So, I think that's kind of what makes it interesting from a content perspective is that shareability. And I think that has the potential, done correctly, I think that has the potential to grow very fast because it is so shareable. And I guess this is where you start to monetize this, is you obviously want to set yourself up a website. I would set up a portal on that website so people can submit their clips, because obviously once it gets to the point where it's got a bit of a following, then people are going to go, hey, I had a funny crash on the weekend. I want to send it to this page because I want to be featured on the page. And it's potentially going to bring them followers as well.
Am I right in saying that this idea is essentially a Instagram funniest home videos?
Yeah.
Fucking done. I'm sold.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Almost exactly.
Because it was, I remember when watching like funniest home videos and stuff like that, people would eat it, and then people filming would be like, sending this to funniest home videos. Yeah. So like,
and so you could potentially do some sort of like,
it's a nostalgia. I forgot about that show.
Yes. So you could potentially do some sort of like rewards program with like the people that are submitting you footage, so that like, just for example, this is me fully freestyling. At the end of each month, the video that you posted in that month that has the highest amount of views, you give that person a prize, whether it be a fucking
helmet
or like a Visa gift card, or fucking
anything, or
a gift card to your site, which I'm about to get into, but.
Would this is again, we're just on the freestyling here.
Yep.
Would you, please wait 1 second as my brain thinks about how to word this. Depending on the views of it, could it be like a gift card that is at the value of, to some degree, of the views? So that way you are more inclined to share your stuff to get more views on it. So that way you can then win it and then get that part. Because if it's 10 views that wins, you get a fucking quarter of a cent.
Yeah.
But if it's 1 million, it might be $100. If it's 2 million, 200, and so on from there. So you have, as the sender, as the shit eater, you have incentive to send something in then and push it.
And then push it as well. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, carry on.
That's not a horrible idea.
I just crash a lot, so like I got content ready to
go. So you could potentially implement some sort of like rewards thing to give people like an incentive to send stuff in as well. But I think obviously you need to get the page to the point where it has a decent following.
Yeah, of course.
But for example, like that Kook Slams one, like I'm sure that they have millions of followers, so people want to be. I'll pull it on.
Yeah, where's Jamie? Jamie,
pull that up.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, my typing's real loud.
That's okay. I'll just freestyle whilst we do this. I've never heard of them.
They have 2.4 million followers. I'm certain that I have sent you clips of theirs before.
Oh, for sure. What's their go like? The top 3 rows. What's the most viewed in the top 3 rows? Just as a reference.
So the top. I'm on my laptop, so we're getting 4 rows instead of
sweet
3 rows.
You could have just fucking lied to me. No one can see.
Whatever. So their most recent videos got 900k, then 1 million, 900k, 400k, 400k, 1 million, 2.6 million, 900k.
The shit sells, but is essentially
Yep.
what we're going with there.
Yep.
And how many followers do they have?
2.4 million. They're almost at 2,000 posts, so a lot of posts.
Yeah, but it's unlikely that million viewed clip is getting done by 50% of their viewers. That surely would be like 30% and then shared out and then so on from there.
Yeah, it'd probably be less than that. It's probably like 25%
Yeah.
followers, and then the remainder would be just randoms. I'm going to turn my sound off so we don't have any dramas, but...
Get that copyright music going.
Yeah, it doesn't show me on my...
Sorry. I just like zoned out then. I was like talking, looked at the camera, and then was like, imagine if there was a big red light on that said that it was doing stuff. And then just stared at the camera, so I apologize for that.
Mad. It doesn't tell me on my laptop. You can see like on mobile when you go to Reel how many shares it's got.
And like the analytics and stuff of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But no, it doesn't.
Right.
It doesn't show me on my laptop. That's okay. But regardless, they have so many comments.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all of the comments. Because they're funny. And people are like laughing and or tagging their mates or sending it to people.
You and I do that shit. Yeah.
Flat out.
And it's something that you have pushed into my brain a fair bit, is that if you're doing it, other people are doing it too. If you need it, other people need it or want it and so on and blah, blah.
I'd set up a portal
Mm-hmm.
so people can submit their stuff. Part of that portal would be a box they have to tick to say, I give whoever permission to use this, whatever.
Yep.
And then you'd could like some details off of them as well, so that if they were to be the winner of your end of month giveaway or whatever, then you have the means to contact them and get whatever prize you say. I actually like that idea. That's something that I would definitely implement if I was going to do something like this.
So it pushes the shit that you want. Like,
and it gives the people a bit more of an incentive to be like, I want to share it, and like, oh, sorry,
a bit of gives the video provider like a bit of control of like their stuff, like
it's not, because obviously when you start doing this and you start cold reaching to these people, you're going to have 0 followers, 0 posts, and they're just going to be like, what is this shit? So you'd be like, if you explain to them in that pre-written message of like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is the plan, like at the end of the month, like these are the prizes I'm going to be giving away. Might sound a bit scammy to some people, and they might just be like, I'm not interested.
If I had my phone here, I would show you some of the ones I get for, but it's the same. I get them for like my gym content and stuff like that. And like, can we share this? Maybe we can do some sort of like deal or like ambassador thing and so on. And like
how many people do we know that if they got that message on Instagram going, hey, we love your content, do you want to do a brand deal?
Yeah, jumping on it.
I've noticed
I'm swinging today. I'm jittery, fired up, ready to go. Yeah, right. Sorry, carry
on. Cool. So submission portal, and this is how you monetize it. So, essentially, and I guess you could potentially outsource some of this to get like artwork and stuff done. I would be outsourcing any design work immediately to your favorite Indonesian graphic designer, because they are all heaps good and they're heaps cheap. I get some like t-shirt designs done, and then I would set up a print on demand service. So basically anyone who, obviously you'd have everything set up on your Instagram account or TikTok account as well. To be fair, this is all applicable to TikTok as well. But have that all set up, so it just basically like your link in bio just pushes people straight to the website where they can submit stuff and or buy merchandise. So with that merchandise, I would make it all very themed around whatever niche, because there's like a few different ways you can do this. Kook slams, kook is like a very surfing term. They're not exclusively surf clips, but they have like a very surf influenced page. Like they have a lot of people getting rolled on surfboards or jet skis or anything in the water.
Yep.
So you would want to target like some sort of niche. Like there's another one that's called Moist. Have you seen that? It's like I would have definitely sent you their videos as well. They're like just like kids eating it on mountain bikes.
When you said, like, as soon as you started talking about like merchandise, or sorry, I have to voice this. All I could think of as like a person like showing someone around their room, like, so you just blank someone around the room, like, oh, that's the scorpion tank, and there's just a bunch of little kids with their feet essentially touching the back of their heads inside this tank.
Yeah. So yeah, like you do like a graphic on the back of it or whatever that's like, like a drawing of someone like like their feet touching the back of their head and have like some funny saying or something on the back of the shirt.
The page is the scorpion tank.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And so set that up with a print on demand service. Most of them allow you to upload like your own designs and that kind of stuff. And then essentially what happens is you're posting this content to Instagram. The Instagram is obviously getting traction. It's very shareable content. Percentage of those people are going to go, well, I'm going to check out what their merch is. Maybe you have like a highlight section, like a story highlights on your profile with all your funny merch. And then basically with the print on demand service, you have it linked up with your website. So anytime someone places an order on your website, that order automatically gets sent forward to the print on demand service. They print the shirt, they fulfill the order. You don't have to do anything. You literally do nothing for the sale.
Second thought.
Yes.
Sorry. With the winner of the month, could a clip of their crash also be the next artwork for a shirt?
Potentially. I could see that could get oversaturated and potentially difficult.
Yeah, okay. That's depending on the crash, I guess.
But depending on the crash or like whatever the kind of...
Yeah, the severity of it as well. You don't want to send out the
bone sticking out of the leg tee.
Yeah. I was going much heavier crash than that, but yeah. That's fair. Oh, fuck, man. I seen one the other day. Carry on.
But yeah, that's essentially how I would set that up, I think. Yeah.
Cut that out in editing.
Which I think has some potential and has a relatively low effort per dollar. Especially if it starts popping off. If you're getting like millions of views on stuff, and then you have zero effort required to fulfill orders. And then like...
So it'll sit very, very similar to like a passive business or a passive income.
Yeah, almost. I hate the term passive income because that doesn't exist. There's no zero effort.
Yeah, maximum dollar.
You can't have zero effort per dollar. There has to be some. It might be very little.
Yeah.
There's definitely low effort income, but I don't think there's zero effort income.
Yeah.
I think that's a myth that people sell on Instagram.
Yeah, that's a pyramid scheme.
Also for money. They sell you the myth of zero effort.
Maximum dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, fair enough.
But yeah, that's pretty much my... And I think that'd be something that'd be super easy to manage while you like have a job, you know what I mean? It'd probably be a little slow to start. But I think once that snowball gets going of like videos getting shared and stuff kind of getting around, I think that would snowball quite quickly. And providing that you have like cool, funny, interesting merch, I don't think it would be hard to sell.
I mean, sometimes it doesn't even need to be cool, funny, interesting. Cool, actually, we'll leave that in there. But like funny, interesting stuff. Like I've heaps of rival shit, village shit, and they're just rival, village. Demo's pretty cool. Demo gets a good one out.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you just like the motherfuckers and you just want to buy their shit. Yeah.
I think that would be a little bit harder with like a crash clips.
Fair.
Because running with the example of Kook Slams more, I don't... I mean,
I've seen people wear fucking Pornhub shirts. So like...
Do something else.
Support local business, yeah. Fuck, I swear, I seen an OnlyFans shirt the other day.
If you're not an OnlyFans athlete, you shouldn't be wearing an OnlyFans shirt.
An athlete?
Well, like genuinely athletes. We can call them athletes if you want.
Oh,
whatever.
we're fucking sticking with that. I'm an athlete.
Yeah.
An OnlyFans athlete. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, same. That's fucking staying. I'm an OnlyFans athlete.
That's pretty sick, actually.
Hell yeah.
I was referring to like there's a few like supercross riders and downhill riders and stuff that.
Oh yeah, you were being legitimate with it.
Yeah.
I was not.
Yeah, checks out. Yeah, I think it'd be a bit more of an uphill push, I reckon, to like with Ku Klux Slams, for example. I mean, maybe because they do have quite a bit of a following, but I think it'd be a bit of a hard press to sell a shirt that just says Ku Slams on it.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I know that they have t-shirts that have got like people fucking getting scorpioned or like folded in half over a surfboard.
I love that.
So,
Fuck getting folded on water.
Oh,
It's so weird that like it's the softer of the two without reaching terminal velocity.
yeah.
But like I would
If you drown on land, but
talent.
yeah.
I would much rather get sleamed on the dirt than sleamed in the water.
Very, very off topic. Remember the when we went kneeboarding with Dad?
Yeah.
Behind Dad's boat, bro. I've never scorpioned so hard in my life.
Oh, it was so good, man. I wish that we had that on video. We should do that again.
That would have been good.
Man.
For context, I scorpioned so hard in the water that my nose ring came out.
It was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
That was
too.
a big hit.
Yeah. Yeah, my arm was fucked up for ages after that because I tried to stand up on it and like got like ripped off, but the rope wrapped around my arm.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, that
shit.
sucked. What a good time.
That was a pretty good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had something on the day after that because I was trying not to get hurt.
Yeah, right.
I forget what it was.
Because we stayed and camped.
Yeah, I broke my fucking bones the next day.
Oh, that's right.
Never mind. Carry on.
Yeah, I should have stayed.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be, to be fair, if I was like, scrap everything, start something.
That's where it'd be.
Yeah, I reckon that's where it'd be.
It's interesting that you went away with the manufacturing where mine is manufacturing.
No, I'm out.
See, but mine would be like niche manufacturing.
Because I did think about that. Like prior to this, I had a bit of a think about like what kind of, and I was like, maybe like 3D printing some stuff, and then I was like, fuck that. Like,
because you and I talk about this a similar topic to this, different words, but similar topic to this so fucking often. So like I knew that we would both have some shit on the boil here, but 3D printing's fun. I'm definitely buying one soon.
Yeah.
But see, mine would be niche manufacturing.
Okay.
Working in robotics and like automation, stuff like that. We deal with mining, defense, all sorts of from anyone in between too. There are a lot of little things that could be made so presentable and pretty and shown, and also could like ease a user like life, like it could be a more
reduce some friction.
Yeah. Or just like simplify things as well. And even outside of that, I love doing it with like my motorbike out the front, like a bunch of my like brake reservoirs, lines, bars. Like I did a bunch of shit for that too.
Yeah. Okay.
Did it. Love doing it with cars as well, like because I always liked like the restoration of shit, but always wanted to make new things, especially with like older cars.
Modernize them a little bit.
Or even just leave them as they are, but put modern parts in it, like a dashboard.
Yeah.
Everyone's
that's what I meant. Sorry.
Got a fucking old Toyota dashboard that has a split down the middle of it.
Yeah.
And to get that's fucking hard. But we have things now, like good 3D scanners where you could scan that, put it into something as simple as 3D Builder, Microsoft 3D Builder, patch that hole, which would be easy, and then make a negative out of that. With your and could make the negative in a 3D printer, and just you would make it into sections that have like a magnet tab on it, slap it together, and then inside that negative fiberglass it, and now you have your positive, and then you would just repeat this process again to get like a solid negative, and then could carbon fiber mold out fucking custom dashes for not custom, sorry, OEM dashes, but with a lightweight, more durable material with it.
Yep.
Put a fucking leather vinyl wrap around that bitch and put it back in, and you are restoring, in a sense, it's like a niche manufacturing. You were restoring to some degree with it, on a more sustainable for longevity with it as well.
So would you then, because you're talking about like your instrument cluster, is that what you're talking about?
Or the entire dash panel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking much smaller, but I was thinking about like the actual like gauges and shit. So I was thinking like, from that point, are you then putting modern gauges, or are you doing digital, or like what are you?
But you can build an analog gauge, no worries.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so and that's what I mean. Like you could leave that up to I would want
that could be up to the customer whether they want that to be digital or if they want it to.
Yeah, absolutely. And it wouldn't, like, automotive's a fun one because I enjoy automotive. So it would be really fun for that, and super easy to do that. Like a carbon fiber dash. I could get it done. Outsourcing it would be much more expensive, but I could get that done easy as fuck. The programs are all there, and it depends on how big you, pardon me, want to go with it. You wouldn't even need to do that in sections. You could. I've an engineer at the moment that's trying to build a 1 meter, 2 meter 3D printer on a conveyor. So essentially, it could just print for as long as you can support it out. You can print it, right? So like you could do whole things in one hit, especially with filaments and stuff that go up to, you can get carbon fiber filaments and shit too. So
to be, what I'm imagining is like 3D printer on its side, conveyor belt.
Now 3D printer normal. It's just like, so your profile, like the same as like the Simrig profile. So that profile up. So, and you just have like a ball screw on it, so it can still go up and down. Still got its Z's and Y's, X and Y's. One of those.
It's a couple of letters.
Fucking reds and greens. And then so the base of it, but your build plate, so where it goes onto, so like this section is just a conveyor, and it could just be a long ass conveyor, man. So as it goes along, so it'll just run off. Got us on the camera. So it'll just run off this part here, and it'll print along this axis, and this axis just keeps rolling. Like the ground axis just keeps rolling out, and so you can build. So, and there's small ones of those that already exist.
Yeah. Okay.
And you just fucking send that shit out.
Yeah, cool.
And then that's just a small point of it. I like niche manufacturing, and I think it's super fucking therapeutic to like build things. And I do it a lot with, like, because we work in like my job revolves a lot around prototyping things that don't exist. And I get to deal with a lot of fun companies and stuff like that, and currently dealing with Gibbs and Components. They do like a lot of my 3D printing now and stuff. So, and I'm talking to him today.
Yeah.
And
that's
he's
sick.
fucking
Those carbon wheels that he makes.
Jesus.
Dude, those are the dream. That's my that's part of my dream build for DJs, his carbon rims.
Mate,
dude,
they look so good. They're so fucking mint. But and to the point of like, and he's such a good guy. This is a bit off track here. Such a mint dude to deal with. I sent him an email yesterday and was like, I need this. Please just send me the invoice and I'll have it paid.
Yep.
He replied with, it's on the print bed, I'll send you the invoice later. I was like, fucking yes. Sweet. Already done. And then he emailed me today, sent through, had a good chat back and forth with him. I got more shit lined up for it. He's just such that dude's a good businessman. Hey?
Yeah. And that's, I think that's another thing, kind of off topic to everything that we've talked about, because with my little side business, they don't really have, there is a customer, but there's not a whole lot of customer relationship.
Like a direct,
that goes a long way in business, especially in like service-based businesses, like where I'm doing like all my video work at the moment. Majority of people are going to choose like if they have a few different options of, like, using me as an example, a filmer for an event, they've got a few different options as a filmer. You may not be the best and you may not be the cheapest, but if you're the easiest to deal with and you're good to be around, you've got the job every time. If they're like, we're bringing Jack along because he's the fucking best when he's at an event and he's fun to be around, and like that is worth almost, I'm not going to say more, but that's almost worth as much as the quality of your thing or the cost of your thing. Especially in that like service based kind of.
Oh, absolutely, man. So if I've got Here's an example that actually happened.
Yep.
I've got 2 people I need to film a job for me. Right. One of them is we've already done one. We know his shit. It's 60% or higher. It's good, right?
Yep.
The other one, new to this type of filming and stuff like that, you know you're going to hit 50% or higher with him, right? So that's a slight bit of difference in it. One's already been proven, one hasn't yet in this realm of it.
Yep.
But one's a fucking bitch to deal with, just fucking annoying.
Yep.
The other one is you. And I was like, sweet, we know Jack. It'll be sweet because if there's a fuck up or I need to I need to yarn some people, it'll be sweet and shit'll be sorted in it. So you go with that option. And that was literally what happened. Man. We were like, and fuck, as you know, come and it was a repeat customer on it too, because we were like, sweet, we know Jack will come in and do it. Let's go.
Yeah.
And it's the process is easier in that sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm with you on that. I know exactly.
Especially, I feel like especially in that kind of work.
Mm-hmm.
Where you actually need to deal with.
If you got to sit next to them, if they're shit,
Yeah.
you just what's fine. Just like you'll just end up like shooing them away type thing.
Yeah. Sorry, I've derailed that so hard.
No. That's right. And it's a good point because mine would be very like customer based as well. There would be a one-on-one with
For
that. Sure. I also on that because I enjoy using tech to not so much improve things. That sounds a bit wanky, but to enjoy things, right? Instead of it being there to make your passive income and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, how do you make it better? And so we're currently using 3D scanners at the moment to model stuff up. And with that, you could essentially make your own like wind tunnel type thing out of a 3D scanner and to like get your aerodynamics out of it. So if you were doing something like a boat or a car, fucking bike, a helmet, and if you just want to make like a weird helmet for something because you're doing something, you'd be able to put that in. And then with some like someone that's, I would say, medium to high level as a 3D modeler, you could just shape that around and change it and deliver to you custom. Actually, this is a good example. Custom carbon fiber wheels. It's the same. Like that is what it is, and it's just he's a good example for that of like it is making. I like niche. Like niche manufacturing and stuff like that. I love doing it for my work as well, and just like making parts out of nothing to benefit and to make things easier, make life easier with stuff. And we do it a lot with work. Machining's a lot for it. You spend a lot of time machining tools or like jigs and fixtures to machine the part. Yeah, absolutely. And like machining definitely goes in it, and they're getting better and better again. Like a fucking 5-axis CNC will do some wild shit, man. But that's where I would go. I find that work very therapeutic. I like dealing with that one-on-one, and it's creating. You have a vision. You have like I enjoy that. Is this possible? Anything's possible. It's just arguably, for the most part, how much do we want to spend on it? How much time do we want to invest in it? But if you want it, absolutely can happen. Yeah.
So how do you envision your like? What would the sales funnel look like for that? Do you think? Would you be running like a website? Would people be putting in inquiries through a website? Would it be very much in person? Would you have a shop where people can come in and work with you on stuff? Like, how does that?
There would definitely be shop based, more so because there would need to be floor space for equipment and so on from that.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I just mean like, where do you see those customers coming from?
How do they drive from? Yeah. Would be how I would drive it, because I don't think you could start it as like, we are niche manufacturing. What the fuck is niche manufacturing?
Yeah.
So I would arguably disguise it as a CNC machining, 3D printing, prototype manufacturing is how I would word it exactly. I'd have a website, I'd have that, but it wouldn't be large clientele base. It would be small, like it'd be dealing with one-on-ones and stuff, because I would still want my 9 to 5. I wouldn't want so this is as a side thing. It would be just a, how do we deal with this as a one-on-one? It could easily expand into something bigger, especially in the world of there is not enough manufacturing shops out there to cut, fucking machine anything. As someone that tries to deal with them on the weekly, you cannot find them, especially not in Southeast Queensland. So you would already drive work from that, and then all you do from there is we do like have a catalogue of just random shit you've done and just send it out with it as well. Yeah. So it would start as like you have to run stuff through. And why I go CNC, 3D printing and stuff like that is because they're automation.
Yeah. So that was going to be my next question of, because you mentioned like carbon fiber and fiberglass and that kind of stuff. So what equipment do you expect that to require? You know what I mean?
A vacuum and some resin.
Yep.
Is essentially the most part because it runs the same as fiberglass. So it's a manual procedure with it. More than anything. Jeez.
Yeah. I guess I meant like business wide, not specifically for carbon fiber, but like as the entire business, like what does your floor plan look like? Like what equipment are you running to make this happen?
Yeah. So there would have to be like a sealed room, which would have your like electrical side of it.
Yep.
Your 3D
I didn't
printing
even
side
think
of it.
about electrical.
Yeah. So your 3D printing, your electrical, they would all sort of run together in one area. Your like hands-on section, so you could run it over 3 sections. So you could have a hand section where it's benches, like a basic toolbox, a couple like roller benches, stuff like that, where you would do any sort of like finer, like dirty hands-on work. Dirty being anything that creates dust, essentially.
Yep.
You would have your sealed room for your electricals, your finer stuff, plus your anything that uses like sticky substance, so like your filaments, resins, any shit like that. And then you would have your actual machining side of it, which would be down the back, which again would still have to be clean because it uses like rails and bearings and shit. But you could get away to begin with. You could get away with a single CNC.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you would need some degree of laydown, especially at the start when you're trying to draw in. You would then be getting stocks through to like throughput to send out to then demonstrate what you've got as well.
Yeah.
There would be a degree of like doing this and then showcasing that out. But I would right now I would target my work. And there's a few other like robotic and like prototyping companies around that I would go to immediately and be like, one, I already know what you're doing, so like we can help here. Let's start moving with shit like that. Because even just building enclosures for like robotic applications, you got a bunch of safety stuff you need to put on. There's not like how you do that can like make a flush surface look really ugly, can make it look good. So if you need like pin locks and stuff, right? How you implement that inside it and like how you implement that in how your gates work and stuff like that can change everything. Again, it's a simple like, because it could change. Do you need an extra meter of swing radius because your pin locks and stuff are hanging out of what you're doing, and you could clean so much up. Yeah. And so it would be more so of manufacturing again a simpler, nicer product. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think because you mentioned like automotive stuff, do you think you would want to specialize in that? Or
I personally like automotive. Automotive would be fun.
Yep.
I think automotive would be a harder field to hit.
Yeah, potentially.
That's all, like, because these things come at a cost as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that'd like definitely roll up there.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel like you would get a lot of any like automated line, like a production line that's automated and shit like that. They blow rollers, bearing shit, and it's like a specific part.
Yep.
Trying to get that in. I'm trying to get a part in at the moment that is 8-week lead time just to get like a small little part over, and the process of like the implications of not having that are catastrophic. Yeah. So like if there was someone that you could be like, hey, I need this, and they can just whip this shit up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess why I ask is I've and this is something that I've experienced in business before, of having those target demographics that are too far apart. And you know, issues that can come along with that, and kind of spreading yourself too thin.
You can't be an expert in everything.
No.
Yeah, I understand.
So yeah, I guess that was kind of like, because to me it almost sounds like it's almost two separate ideas.
Yeah,
it's a very, I guess, almost the same thing, but like two different.
There's multiple different worlds. Trucks are another one.
Yeah,
trucks are another big one.
And
for it.
there's infinite worlds you can go into, and I guess that's the thing with like what I do for like my 9 to 5. Like we make stickers, but we only do stickers for dirt bikes. We could do stickers for everything if we wanted to.
Yeah,
but we specialize in dirt bikes.
Yeah,
and we're just like, everything that we do is how do we be the best in the world at this thing.
So if we break it back to that, it would be, for the most part, everything that would come through would already have a model of it. You would just be manufacturing the part that already exists, because if it's existed once, it's existed again.
Yeah.
The niche would come into when someone needs something different or something modified to a degree.
Yeah.
But so there's companies like this that already exist, just not in Australia. A big one, PCB Way.
Yep.
You go to that, you can get fucking anything from them.
Yep.
Just how much do you want to pay for it, essentially?
Yeah, for sure.
But Australia doesn't have one.
Yeah, interesting.
And so for instance, and I've played with this at work, the dashboard was one of them. We did small little blocks. We did a fucking Rubik's Cube. We sent just all these like weird models that we could get, we sent across to them. And they just come back with like, yep, this is your wait time. This is what it'll be like. And this is how much it cost.
Yep.
That was it. Because you're already sending out pre-existing models of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So like automotive, you could, I arguably say you could already find most of your like your STL files or your 3D files from that. And it would just be, it'd just be pressing play on a machine for the most part. I know that is oversimplified.
Yeah, for sure.
But you're right. I arguably think I would...
If you had to pick one?
I would pick the one that keeps popping up and making the money.
Okay.
Yeah. I would still do my own thing. Yep. Like for like my own personal stuff.
Yep.
But if I wanted to go automotive, but for some reason conveyor lines just kept sinking through and it was the same level of effort, but the dollars kept running for it.
Yep.
I mean, eventually you would just stand it up as its own and then fucking start a second one where you get to do your own shit again. But like that, I would go in that direction for it because the point of all of this would be to still get to play with the toys and make the money.
Yeah.
So if something was coming through that was in such demand for it, it would go that way.
Yeah. Okay. I guess because the way that I would look at that a little bit would be because we're looking at this as a hobby business.
Yeah, very much so.
So to be, for me anyway, it'd be more along the lines of like, what is more enjoyable? Is it more enjoyable doing custom weird automotive dashboards and cool little like custom bits for that? Or is it more enjoyable making like machining parts for some robotics thing that I potentially don't care about?
Yeah, very much so. There would be a degree of outsource as well for that stuff.
Yeah.
As the second that, and like I already know the people I would have on retainer for it, and be like, a second that this comes up where I'm not that interested in it, I would just flick across and be like, can you do this? Send me back the model for the check, and then I would just put it through.
Yeah. Because I guess to me, and I'm so far removed from this world that the car dash stuff would potentially be more interesting. And obviously, like, it is a bit more niche. It might take a bit longer to get up and go and all of those things. Potentially less cash flow involved as well. But if I'm working a full-time job and all my bills are paid, I'm doing the thing that's more fun.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah.
And like, I probably should have explained that better, that for it to go solely to one point, it would need to have a flow that trumps the 9 to 5 then for it to stand up on its own, and then you would just move it to its own and then go have someone else oversee
operate
it
that,
and then you would just go fucking start your 9 to 5, and then you would section out again to the parts that didn't make enough to stand up on their own but then come from that. you would just have that company sub to your company, and then
Yeah.
get a trust to run them over, and
Yeah.
and so on from that. But
Yeah, okay.
but you're right.
Interesting.
It'd be like even shit like Chris Courtney for one, man. Like he blew his bumper off on that. Like sweet. Let's fucking come up with like
Let's
quick
design some
release
parts.
bumpers
Yep.
and shit like that. Because that is more fun to me.
Yeah.
But to be fair, 3D modeling and all sorts of shit. Like I'm super new to it, still learning and stuff like that. But it's fun as fuck, man. 3D printers, fun as fuck.
Yeah, cool.
Heaps fun, man. You make all sorts of shit.
I had a conversation with Dad recently about like I think he's thinking about getting a 3D printer potentially, which would be pretty cool just to play with. But
Fuck. Tell him to hit me up. I
did because he mentioned something about it the other day because he was talking about like this idea that he had, and I was like, dude, talk to fucking Alex. Like Alex has been fucking around with 3D printers a bunch. Like,
love them. Yeah, and they're just like
they're only going to get better as well. Like,
mate, they're already so fucking.
Because I feel like
we need a 3D printer sponsor. Let's go. They're already so good, and I got like multiple names you could drop for it, man.
Yeah, sick.
But to the point of there's one. Essentially now there's like a couple brands that are like the iPhone of 3D printer. Doesn't mean they're very good, but they're so
easy to use.
The user interface. Yeah, that was just a dig at iPhone. Obviously, I just want to clear that up. More so a dig at you than iPhone. You could have had a fucking Nokia. I still would have said it. But. The simplicity of it.
Yeah.
You can fuck around and get like fine tuning. It depends what you want out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I like that about the 3D prints is, do you just want a can? Sweet, there it is.
Yeah.
Do you want a fucking fine tuned, beautiful?
Yeah. Do you care about your percentage fill? Do you care about
layer heights? Do you care about sealed temperatures and stuff? And but also, what do you? I think they're very end game. We're going to go down a rabbit hole in this. They're very end game. So what is the maximum you want to do of it is how you should look at it. I want to do carbon fiber prints. So I need like an enclosure that's temperature controlled. I need extrusion nozzles that can do 300. I need like filament filament holders that have like moisture condensers and shit like that in them. I have so already this is where I want to go. So if I were to go this $150 Ender 3 would do fuck all for me at the beginning. And you very much get what you get out of them. There's some fucking wizards that can pull some rabbits out of hats and stuff, but like
of course there always is.
Yeah, but they're fucking mint, man. They're just for you guarantee you by the end of this year that you're just going to start to see 3D printed shit just popped up around everywhere, man.
3D printers popping up around the room.
There'll be one there.
Just be like running while it's like
they do have a bit of a noise to them. Yeah. But yeah, hell yeah, that's right. I love like I just enjoy prototyping shit, man. And I would do that as my
and then you could potentially see that scaling into like the more like industrial shit that you're potentially a little bit less interested in. Standing that up on its own.
Phenomenal.
As a company, put someone in charge of that, and then that can fund you to fucking make cool automotive parts.
And arguably that can still be considered as a hobby because you're not in it anymore. You're just sort of like you're handling it and so on from there. It this all sort of come about is a lot of things feel like you just got to deal with what's on the shelf for stuff, right? And I'm lucky to be in an industry where nothing is on the fucking shelf that we need. We have to make everything. So and started to see that world is it's only what's on the shelf if that is as far as you'll let your mind go. How far can you stretch your mind? Fucking sweet. Go from there. And then you start to run into these like cool creative people that like, why don't we just do this thing? I don't know. Why don't we? Let's start fucking that up. Yeah. And a lot of shit is fail, man. Hey, but it's fun doing it and you learn shit the whole time through it. So that's where I'd go. I hate the accepting that it is what we're given. So yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, go. Shut me up. You got you got another one?
Yeah, well, I guess like on the topic of like standing that up on its own, I guess for me, this is something that would be much less of a side quest and more of a main quest type of deal.
Hell yeah.
But something that I think, and again, this may be something that I do in the future. When in the future is very unknown. Whether this sounds like a cool idea, but in reality is a horrible business, like actual business. Who knows?
Yeah.
I think it would be
done one
really,
of them before.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool though. And this returns back to my effort per dollar thing. Because obviously very like media heavy with demo. I think it'd be really cool to have a studio space for myself, where I'd just like buy a warehouse. I would want to buy a warehouse to do this. I wouldn't want to rent a warehouse.
Because then you lose your overheads there. Like, so you're increasing your overheads. And
And that's not like, if I buy a warehouse, it's probably going to have a mortgage on it, but like that, me paying off that mortgage is then growing equity. It's not just cash that's burnt.
I feel like if you were to rent to do this, you're sort of borrowing money from here to give it to here. Like you were just an exchanger of hands.
It's a bit more temporary as well, I feel like. If you, where this would be fairly permanent, I think, permanent of a setup. But essentially, it would be like, office space for myself to do like editing, all that kind of stuff. Majority of the warehouse would be just a photo studio with like a big nice backdrop and all that kind of stuff. And all of this would be super useful for me in like my creative journey and like with demo and creating content and all that kind of stuff. Like this, I would have a podcast studio for sure, possibly more than one.
Yep.
Because like this isn't a massive room. You don't need an enormous amount of room to set up a podcast studio.
No.
So you could potentially have a couple of podcast studios. I would just have like all of the cool, exciting camera gear that I want. Again, how does this all make money? Because at the moment, this is just me buying cool shit.
I feel like that's mine went down that track for a fair bit.
Business plan number 1, buy all the cool shit I want.
Business 2, justify it to the wife.
So how we justify this to the wife is I would basically have it set up so that, again, if you set this up with a really good website and a really good booking system, so that when I'm using these facilities, I book it out on the website. When I'm not using it, other people can book it. And it's essentially 0 effort per dollar for me, which I know I said doesn't exist, but I said essentially.
Because there would still be a degree of like oversee, house clean, just the general. Yeah. So sorry,
it'd be very, very low cost per dollar, effort per dollar. Sorry, where basically all this shit sitting here. I have a whole photo studio. I have potentially multiple podcast studios. We would have different there'd be multiple photo walls. There's all of the coolest camera gear that like I enjoy to use and all that kind of stuff as well. You can hire all of it. Come in and use it. You can come hire the camera gear, take it, do whatever you want with it. And
fuck your insurances. I shrieked for your insurance of removing camera gear off the pro, even moving. But like
that's so in the film industry, that is the norm.
Yeah, right. Okay, fair enough.
Majority, even like Hollywood film studios, they do not own camera gear.
That's weird, but makes sense. Why would you if you could just rent it? Yeah.
Well, and because every job is going to be different. You're going to need different cameras. You're going to need different lenses. You're going to need different shit.
If it takes you a year to film a movie, your shit's out of date by that finishing too, pretty much. And then, there'd be new tech that comes through and so on.
Yeah, but that is very much the norm in the photo video industry is hiring gear.
So I'm just going to call this media house.
Yep.
So I need to...
essentially a media house.
Yeah. I want to film podcasts at Media House. So I go on the website, book it, see that it's free.
Yep. So you can book the space.
Yep. And I want to book the gear too.
Yep. So you can book the space. You can book the gear.
Yeah.
You can book me to fucking produce the thing if you need someone sitting over there with a laptop. Like
I don't know what gear I need. How do I?
So at that point, we would have.
Is there like a drop down package of like full media package?
So you could either do packages or just a contact form of like, hey, this is what I want to do. What kind of gear do you think I need? I send back an email. This is what you need. Blah blah blah. Here's all the stuff.
Yeah.
I think a package deal would be a good idea. So it'd be like studio only.
Yeah.
Load in your own gear, basically. So you can bring your own mic. You can bring whatever you want. It's an empty room. You can have room and audio. Yep. You can have room, audio, video.
Yeah.
Room, audio, video, and fucking producer. So if you're like, I want to film a podcast, I don't even know how to turn a camera on.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm there doing my own thing anyway. Cool. You also got me at an hourly rate to run the whole thing for you. All you've got to do is come and sit down, talk.
Mm-hmm.
Done.
Bingo.
Very low effort per dollar.
Yeah.
And it also, basically all of the overheads that I would have as running, running my own content, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
For example, like it's cost us money to set this up.
Mm-hmm.
If we were then like, sweet, $100 an hour, you can come in and use it, and it's booked out, 3 hours every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's potentially like your rent paid for, or the mortgage, because I would want to buy the warehouse for this. So like, it basically covers all the overheads of like me having access to like this incredible facility to create content and create whatever media I'm creating, and it's all paid for by other people that want to come and use the same cool shit.
Yep. How do I get, like, so you're not on site constantly, or is someone on site? How do I get to in the building then?
I would probably be there most of the time anyway.
Yeah.
Because I guess I'm envisioning that during business hours, I'm probably going to be in my office editing fucking our podcast, or editing, a video project that I'm working on at the moment, or any of those.
Something, yeah.
I'm probably going to be there doing something anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing that you could potentially do, and obviously involves a bit more trust and insurance, but you could just have, like when you book on the website, some form of ID needs to be provided if it's an after hours thing. And you have a security system, and the website would generate a one-time code to get in.
Yeah, okay.
And it'll all be like under video, like it'd be surveillance and whatever. Like you'd have security cameras and shit there. But yeah, that's potentially, you could, if you weren't there. Yeah, that's something you could do as well.
Because there would be obviously there's going to be times of people want to film some shit or have a podcast like as this.
Yeah,
we film this at fucking
whatever time it is.
Whatever time it is. Yeah, exactly. Where you're not going to be there, you're going to be out doing your own thing at that point. So like, you would need that sort of after hours access to it.
Yep.
Obviously, deposit and stuff would have to scale on what package you purchase for it.
I would do it all up front. So to basically be like, you make your booking through the website, you pay, and then you show up.
But like I feel like you would need your security deposit would have to scale on. Would it have to scale? So I want like all this gear and stuff, like the lights, the camera, mics, all that stuff.
Yeah, there would just be an excess, I reckon. Yeah. On like, if anything comes back damaged or fucking whatever, there'd just be an excess.
And just all rooms would have a built-in security to them. Yep. Like a surveillance. Sorry.
Yeah, and you would probably do it in a way so that like you would have. Well, let's run with the example that I'm not going to be on site. Someone wants to use the podcast room. They also need all the camera gear, all the audio equipment. So what I would do is you would have locks on like all the doors, basically. So you would have like a camera gear room that's locked. You would have podcast studio 1, 2, and 3. They're all locked. They've booked podcast studio 1. They need this equipment. Yep. Sweet. Before I peace out, I'll go and get all the gear they need, leave it in the room for them. Their security code will get them into the building and into that room, but nowhere else. Everything else is still locked.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. And then some bathrooms were... Yeah, okay. So I'm thinking of... my brain goes to weird logistics for stuff, hey? That's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. You would need... I feel like your floor space would have to be somewhat hefty for something like that.
I don't think so. It wouldn't be massive. You think about like Rival is 2 factories, but like one of those. So you've got like, and you would mezzanine it, so you would have like podcast studios and stuff upstairs. And then like downstairs would basically just all be like photo wall. And maybe like an office or 2, and like I don't think you would need a massive warehouse.
Yeah, I'm not saying like my size. Fuck that.
Oh no,
that'd be.
But like I'm not sure how big.
Bring it up, Jamie. Fuck, that's the loudest keys ever.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's right. But like, I mean, Rival size now would be fucking perfect for it.
Even just one of them.
Yeah.
Because it's the 2.
I mean the two. The two would be fucking dope, man.
That'd be sick, but I don't reckon you would need that much room. Obviously, more room isn't going to hurt.
Yeah. Doesn't always equate. More room doesn't equate to more better.
No. Does it say?
We need holding music. Do 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 do. Fuck, I'm sorry for the people that made it this far. Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be worse for the audio listeners. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Jack's currently looking stuff up on his laptop.
Yeah. I can't find how big it is. I'm going to make it up.
You talking about Rival?
Yeah. I'm going to say it's 100 square meters.
It absolutely is not. It's like 190 each side of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I reckon you could do it in 100.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take this offline.
All right. Sweet. Well.
Yeah. just for like, definitely. I'm for it. I reckon it's a fucking sick idea.
Yeah.
I think like with these rooms, because you imagine if someone's next to this is just my brain. You're obviously going to want to soundproof each room as well.
Oh, yeah, especially the podcast studios.
Fucking yeah, because
if you just if you like acoustic foam the walls, you're sweet. You're chilling.
It'd be the outlay for it would be, especially if you got 4 podcast rooms and you need 4 like setups. Oh fucking hell.
Yeah, I think, but you could do it in the sense of like, all right, I've got 3 rooms.
Yeah.
Let's build out the first one. Start getting some people in here.
Yeah.
Generate some income. Let's build the second one.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's also going to be like, I'm envisioning this would probably like that would be my place of work as well.
Yeah.
And I'm going to want a podcast studio, and I'm going to want a photo wall.
Yeah.
And
sure.
like, so it means that I can build all of the shit that I want to create my own content.
Yeah.
And then I can regenerate that money from other people that also want to use the same thing.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I love that.
Yeah. I reckon that'd be dope.
Yeah, I'm for it. I reckon, do it.
All right.
Just fucking, yeah. That I enjoy it. I enjoy that because like, yeah, it'd be sweet to just be able to walk into something and...
Just everything's there ready to go.
Yeah. Or even would... you consider having just a like an editing office type thing where there could be 3-4 computers set up type thing,
like an internet cafe,
sort of, but just for editing. So for people that don't have like the subscriptions or the computer to do it, but like for instance, let's take Slingshot, right? He wants to, because I know boy's got himself a laptop now. He's starting to move forward. Fuck yeah, get it, bud.
Yeah,
but like previous that he might not have had the flow ready to do it, but the money to come in, and he's got the footage. He just needs to upload it onto a system that's got the equipment for it.
Yeah,
it's got the subscriptions where he can edit that stuff up and then move it out from there.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea.
Yeah, because that's a real small space for that. Because if you have headphones, you could have fucking 3 of them next to each other.
Yeah.
Or spinning their stuff.
Yeah.
All your equipment still a tax write-off.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that like. Yeah, and it's all resources that I'm going to use for like my main business.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like so it kind of only makes sense to monetize that.
Like every part of it. Yeah.
It's not only like, well, I've bought all this camera gear so that I can make videos for my clients, but also while the camera gear is sitting there doing nothing, other people can use it for the same thing. Yeah. But then it's making me money while I'm not using it.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought because like if you're paying for the edit and you're paying for the gear itself and the actual square footage, why not like add the other parts into it where you can
good for sure.
Because I find you'd have that I reckon would kick off heaps. How many people do you see with their camera out at gyms, parks, all sorts of shit like that, just their general stuff that they want to...
how many people do you hear go, I got a camera but I fucking can't edit it on my laptop because it's fucking old or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, man. They have a new camera
and they buy a new laptop.
Exactly, man. So like, but if you could slap stuff on your phone and you're like, I'll just go down to Media House and then just edit
just
all my
show
photos through. Yeah, exactly. Or just a fucking USB-C if you're fucking not an iPhone, and just bang it through. And
iPhones have got USB-C.
yeah, about time they conformed. But then you can like bang through all your edits and stuff, upload it straight from there, log out of your shit, and then be sweet. Then
Yeah, that'd be pretty mad.
yeah, even try it. Like you could try and like corner that to be like, yeah, this is where you upload. This is like all your social shit's done here. You know, you need to snap a photo. You can do it there.
Yeah.
You can do this
edit
here,
it right here. Yeah.
edit it right there, and then upload
airdrop
it
to your phone.
Yeah,
You don't have to
fuck that shit. But you can edit it here, straight down on the computer because you've provided the SD cards already. Straight into the computer, edit it, and have it all ran through in the same place, all under the one roof.
So this is another
Getting
thing that I
fucking
reckon,
fired up.
This is another thing I reckon would be cool. I wouldn't hire SD cards.
Yeah.
Because if they're getting used, the likelihood of them failing on a client.
Yeah.
I would have a fucking pinboard full of SD cards you can buy, but
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How much are your SD cards for this?
$400.
That's steep. An SD card sponsor would be meant for that. Yeah. But like potentially, yeah. Especially on that scale of it, I reckon that'd be fucking sick.
Just have a pegboard full of fucking SD cards. You don't have to spend $400 on an SD card, to be fair.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, the ones that I use are $400.
Yeah. But yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to spend $400 on an SD card or fucking 10 grand on a camera and fucking however much that was and this and that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just come use your shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get to go home and then have the 4K edited fucking like studio lit up shit, and then just run from there.
Yep.
Fuck, anyone want to come film a podcast here? Hit us up. We'll start. That's sweet. I want to hear what other people would do as their businesses.
Yeah.
I want to hear everything from like weird shit to legitimate shit.
Yeah,
everything.
100%.
Everything.
I feel like it's such a thing that people just don't realize that you can actually just start a business.
Yeah, when I said weird shit, then I wanted to correct myself because everything was weird shit once upon a time. Yeah. We used to ride horses everywhere. Now look at us.
Yeah.
E-bikes.
I really think that people don't realize that you can actually just like, you can do stuff. And yeah, maybe you should have done it before, but the best time to plant a tree
was 10 years ago. The second best time
is right now.
Right now.
Go and start a business. Have fun.
Tell us your ideas.
Tell us your ideas. And yeah.
Fuck yeah.
That's it for this one.
Yeah. I enjoyed that.
That was good. Sweet. We'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.
See you guys.